Chapter 4, Last Supper. Emily and David enter the mall. They see that it is almost completely empty, which is strange considering that it's a Friday night at peak business hours. Trent sits alone at a wooden bench, staring at Maria, who is riding the huge carousel by herself. The ride operator is nowhere to be seen. Maybe it's fully automated. A self-checkout carnival ride. David glances around the atrium, admiring the size of the place. A ginormous superstructure, with spacious halls that look as if they may go on forever. The ends of them vanish into darkness. As David looks, he takes note of the cheery, ambient music reverberating throughout the mall. Soft and slow it chimes, the sound dying off as they approach the carousel. Trent catches sight of them. His mood changes instantaneously. He jumps off the bench, practically sprinting towards David and dapping him up. Emily stands off to the side with her arms folded. "Hey, there you are," Trent yells. "I guess traffic wasn't so bad, huh?" They stand awkwardly. David's mind wanders momentarily. He gazes into a distant hallway, looking at the Sears at the other end of the mall. He sees the silhouettes of people, the black shadows of human beings, walking back and forth like NPCs in a poorly programmed video game. He imagines that they are nothing more than an optical illusion, and if he were to run towards them, they would fade away like a mirage in the desert. He looks back at Trent. There wasn't really traffic. Trent looks surprised, but not too surprised. "No?" he says with curiosity. "We got lost. Had to take a detour," David says. Trent looks over to Emily, almost laughing. He contains his smile, just barely. "No traffic. Interesting." Maria gets off the ride, walking over towards them. Trent wraps his arm around her. He looks over at the restaurant. "Anyways, let's eat!" David, Trent, Emily, and Maria walk into the Rainforest Cafe, having an inaudible conversation. They don't even need to say anything to the waitress. They are taken to their table immediately, as if she had been expecting them. As if she had been expecting them. The walls of the cafe are made to appear like solid rock, like the side of a mountain. The ceiling is blocked by a canopy of fake branches and leaves, coming from the great tree in the middle of the room. Plastic foliage spilling out from the walls, traveling down the sides of ancient moss-covered pillars. David observes the malfunctioning animatronics, the empty fish tanks filled with algae, but no fish, and the dirty leaf-patterned carpet underneath his shoes. He sees that there is no one else in the restaurant except for one old man sitting at a table by himself. He eats an Amazon rainforest burger with a sad expression on his face, looking over at the empty seats beside him, each time expecting to see his non-existent family, each time disappointed to be alone. His eyes wander up at Emily, staring for a second, but quickly he glances back down at his plate of French fries, looking ashamed. On hidden speakers, the ambience of a jungle plays, the sound of monkeys playing and birds chirping, among other sounds such as leaves rustling, rain, bongos, and flutes. They take their seats at the table in the back of the restaurant. David looks around the place, amazed, and appears as if he had never seen such a place before in his entire life. "Interesting place," he says. "Yeah," Trent answers, looking down at the laminated menu. "We come here all the time." David pauses. "We do?" Trent laughs. "Yeah, dipshit." David looks as if he is remembering something awful, a repressed memory from the future, something very troubling, torturous to think about. Everyone looks at him with anticipation and worry. "How long have I been here?" He asks himself the question, with terror dripping out of his mouth, blood retreating from his face. "We were just here last Friday," Trent says, "for Maria's birthday. You don't remember?" We bought those coffee cups with our names on them. We did, David asked himself. Yeah, I guess I do remember, Trent. Feels longer than that, though. Years longer. Maria sighs angrily. What's your problem, David? You're acting like a freak, again. He's off in La La Land, Trent jokes. He tosses a balled-up straw wrapper at David's forehead. It bounces off, landing into his Diet Coke. David does not react or even flinch, and Trent reaches over to slap him on the bicep a few times. Yo, lighten up, my guy. We were just joking with you. David laughs softly. Yeah, my bad. The sound of thunder and lightning is heard. Lights on the ceiling flash through dense foliage, and David feels the air change. It really does feel as if he's standing in the middle of a storm. The pressure and temperature drop suddenly. The sensation of mist, a light haze, fills the room. And in the distance, a robotic elephant blows his trumpet as the jungle beat intensifies. Some time passes. They finish their meal. Maria takes the last bite of the molten lava cake. She puts her fork down on the plate, making a loud noise in the process. Everyone at the table is filled with euphoria, and there is no pain, no suffering, and no worry. Only the pure, wholesome enjoyment of each other's company and the childlike joy of consumption. What's better than this? Trent proclaims. I got my girl here, my best friend in the whole wide world. Emily's here too. He raises a glass of Coca-Cola. Hey, we're young, healthy, out here living our best lives without a care in the world. He turns to David. This world is perfect. David smiles. He looks over to Emily, who does the same as he takes her by the hand. It sure is. Cheers! They all clink glasses. The waitress comes by to collect their plates. She asks them how everything was, and they answer her with great embellishment. This was the greatest meal of their lives. Great, the waitress says. Separate checks or all on one? David hears a deafening metallic sound, similar to a sword being unsheathed. Trent whips out a platinum credit card. The ceiling lights reflect off of it, shining directly into David's eyes. He squints, looking away in pain. It's all on me tonight, Trent says, trying to sound cool. She takes the card and walks off. Maria laughs. Ooh, we're real impressed, Trent. Using your dad's credit card, very suave. Yeah, well maybe next time you can pay for everyone's meal, he jokes. Maria sighs, digging into her purse and talking under her breath. Wouldn't be the first time. Trent's face drops. He pauses for way too long, slowly turning his head to stare at Maria with quiet intensity. What did you just say? He asks calmly, a storm raging beneath his skin. David and Emily look at each other with wide eyes. They know what's about to happen and are powerless to stop it. Trent leans in towards Maria. What did you say? She ignores him, pretending not to notice while applying lipstick in a handheld mirror. I told you, Maria. I forgot my wallet in the locker. It was a one-time thing. He can't believe this disrespect, absolutely flabbergasted. He raises his arms in the air. Why are you always doing this to me? Doing what? Belittling me in front of my friends. What is your problem? David laughs awkwardly. Guys, come on, let's not get out of hand here. There's other people here. And all around them there are other patrons. As they were eating, the restaurant saw a massive surge in customers, now operating at maximum capacity, with every table and seat filled, a line of people spilling out into the hallway, multiple birthday parties and celebrations. Trent lowers his voice, sounding like he's about to cry, verging into histrionics. I just don't understand why you treat me like this, Maria. She walks out of the restaurant, laughing at Trent's pathetic behavior, and he just sits there, his head hung low, defeated. Suddenly, he punches the table with all his might, slamming his clenched fist down like a gavel. The utensils bounce in the air. One of the tables looks over at them, a party of 12, all peering over their shoulders to see what the great commotion was. One of them was about to report Trent's behavior to the manager. "Hey, take it easy," David says. I'm sorry. Trent covers his face. Why is she always doing this to me? Why doesn't she appreciate what I've done for her? He fixes his hair and caresses his jawline. The backlighting hits him perfectly, looking cinematic as hell. Trent takes a moment to look at his godlike appearance in the reflection of a wide spoon, covered in chocolate sauce. He squints, raising an eyebrow and smoldering. I better go talk to her, he says, sprinting out of the door. David watches as Trent runs to Maria. She sits alone on a wooden bench. Trent approaches, says something inaudible, and takes a seat beside her. David and Emily watch them from the nearby Hot Topic. So they're in the Hot Topic now. Where was I? The cashier approaches them as they enter. He's tall and unnervingly skinny. This is very important. This is the cashier. He's the most important character in the story. The cashier. Remember that. The cashier is here. The cashier approaches them as they enter in the Hot Topic. He's tall, unnervingly skinny, and wearing a standard issue employee uniform. His hair is jet black, looking dyed, overly moist, partially covering his eyes. So he's got like a bowl cut, like one of those anime haircuts. It's like a black, like bang bowl cut covering his eyes, like an anime nerd. And on his face is a pair of sunglasses with solid white lenses. Hey, what's going on, guys? I got a special on band tees today, 30% off. That's what the cashier says. Emily sorts through the rack of band t-shirts. David watches Trent and Maria through the glass. He is concealing himself behind a rack, remaining unseen. I can't hear what they're saying, but gradually Trent moves closer towards Maria, and eventually he puts a hand on her lap and leans in for a kiss. They make out in the open, on the wooden bench. It looks like they're about to start fucking. This is what David is thinking, not me, the narrator. David watches intently. He grips the t-shirt rack, his eyes wide open, leaning in as Trent caresses Maria's inner thigh. David! Emily yells. He flinches, seeing that Emily is standing right beside him. Huh? What? Emily holds up two band t-shirts. Left or right? Which one would look better on me? So the one on the left was a graphic tee of The Cure's 8th album, Disintegration, and the one on the right was Green Day. David exhales, relieved. The left one. Am I out of focus? I can't even tell. There we go. Perfect lighting. Trent and Maria enter the store, arms locked. Before David can greet them, something catches Trent's eye. He stops suddenly, shoving Maria off of him and turning 90 degrees to the left. Trent marches towards, getting nose to nose with the cashier. The cashier's tone shifted, going from upbeat to simmering hatred. So I got a typo here. Let me do it. I mark typos with a pen. There's a typo here. What are you doing here, Trent? This is what the cashier is asking him. So the cashier is now mad for no reason at Trent, okay? He's like, what are you doing here, Trent? Trent does an evil laugh. Minded my business. What about you? Thought I banned you from the store. Oh yeah? What are you gonna do about it, shit stain? And it looks as if a fight is about to break out. David lightly steps towards them, ready to break it up. But Trent's nasty scowl shifts into a smirk, and the cashier laughs as well. Trent daps him up with a secret handshake, previously unknown even to David. Who is this bozo? David asked himself the question. I thought I was Trent's best friend. It's great to see you again, the cashier says. How's Chesterton High these days? Pretty lame since you dropped out. Yeah, I can imagine, but it's like I said long ago. I'm too smart for high school. So how's the mayor these days? The cashier asked. Trent grunts. Motherfucker's been riding my ass non-stop, talking about grades and shit, even though I've explained to him multiple times that school doesn't mean shit to me. I'm an athlete, not some pencil neck nerd. They fist bump. That's what's up. The cashier glances over to David. They lock eyes. Something about David looks familiar to him. He rubs his chin. Hey, these friends of yours, Trent? Yeah. That's David and his girl Emily, and obviously you know Maria already. Everyone waves to the cashier. He waves back. I'm just here for some of that hair gel, Trent says, the good kind. Trent puts the gel on the counter. The cashier rings it up and calculates the price. Trent counts the cash in his wallet. So what have you been up to, man? The cashier shrugs. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Time traveling mostly. Although I have been doing some little bit of urban exploring, a little bit of urban exploring. Been up to that. And David looks up, was looking down at his feet at the time, but the phrase urban exploring caught his attention. So he looks up suddenly. I'm out of focus. There we go. So he looks up with intrigue. Urban exploring? David asked out loud. What is that? That sounds familiar. The cashier answers. I break into buildings, abandoned buildings. I have a look around, take a couple pictures, that kind of thing. He scratches his nose, still looking down at the register. I have a MySpace page if you're interested. That's where I put all my pictures. Trent hands him the cash. Anything worth seeing? And the cashier stops dead in his tracks, as if time had stopped, completely. And not one nanosecond passing by. He looks up at David, talking only to him and no one else. The cashier never blinks. He never stutters, talking slow and methodical. Every word that proceeds out of his mouth has infinite meaning. A fluorescent light above his head blinks off and on. Anything worth seeing? The cashier repeats the question to David. Yes, as a matter of fact. He speaks with somber reflection. I've seen quite a few things, all worth seeing. It's an indescribable feeling, wandering through those ruins. It's almost like you're not meant to be there. It's almost like you're not there at all. And the only thing that's real is this fallen world. The cashier grits his teeth. David feels pure terror. The wrath of the universe is before him. He looks over to Trent and Maria, neither of them conscious. They stand perfectly still, standing upright. Their eyes are open, but they cannot see. Neither do they hear. David looks over to Emily. Her eyes are wide. She does see what is happening, and she feels the same feeling, looking as if she was about to cry. The cashier speaks with rage on the verge of frenzy. You will see something that was always there. You never knew of its existence, because only now are you seeing its true form. That's the natural state of this world, David, the absence of humanity. David swallows nervously. Anywhere specific that we should watch out for? Do you know where Portage is? The cashier asks. David nods. Yes. There you will find a small forest, behind a Chinese buffet. Walk down the forest trail for a while, and you will see something truly worth seeing. What is it? David asked. The cashier laughs. A movie theater. A movie theater, David repeats. Why would there be a movie theater in the middle of the woods? The cashier stands there, smiling like a dog showing its teeth. You will see it for yourself, Mr. White. This is only the beginning. The beginning of a long journey. A journey through time and space and soul. The cash register pops open, startling David and Emily. Suddenly, the cashier drops the act. His face relaxes. He laughs casually, no longer sounding and acting like a creep. He gives Trent the change. You should definitely see it for yourself, Trent. It is a sight to behold, most definitely. And Trent laughs with excitement. Yo, an abandoned movie theater in the middle of the woods? Sounds awesome. And he turns to his friends, overjoyed. "Did you hear that, guys? We should go check it out." Maria nods. "I'd be down." "Yo." "What about you, David?" David rubs the back of his neck, trying to come up with an excuse. I gotta make curfew, Trent. It's a no-go for me." Emily speaks nervously. "Same here." "Oh," Trent hums. "Well, just sneak out. Tell you what, I'll swing by around midnight and pick you guys up. We can go check it out together. It'll be fun." David can see the terror on Emily's face, a fact that even Trent is able to pick up on. David sighs and opens his mouth to speak, but Trent cuts him off. "Oh, come on. You guys aren't scared, are you?" He laughs. "What's there to worry about? My good friend here said that it was cool and that we should check it out. So that is exactly what we are going to do, David." Trent turns to where the cashier was standing, but sees that he is gone. Huh. Probably just taking a break, Trent thinks. He shrugs his shoulders and looks back at his friends, but David thinks differently of the cashier. David is thinking differently of the cashier. I don't know, Trent, he sighs, feeling sick to his stomach. "I gotta get up early for baseball practice, and I can't do it." "Shut the fuck up!" This is what Trent yells. He yells at the top of his lungs. "Shut the fuck up." That's what Trent yells at the top of his lungs. He tells him to shut the fuck up. "I'm gonna be outside your house at midnight. If you're a real man, you'll be there along with me, okay? End of discussion. We're gonna see this movie theater. David, we gotta check out this abandoned movie theater, okay? We're checking it out. If you're a real man." And there is nothing David can do. There's nothing he can say. His path is fixed, going in a singular, linear direction. There are no other options, no alternative destinations. His story is pre-written, quite literally, in this book. And he stands there defeated. And Trent says one last thing in this chapter. "Now let's go to Payless."